Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm here today to do week number 3 of the 2020-22. I read a total of 8 books and 3,900 pages. Not 900, wow, 3,009 pages this week, which is really good. I'm really happy about that. So, the first one I read was 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. This is for my TBR game, my Kindle TBR game for POC rep. This is the first book by this author I've read. It was audiobook number 7 that I read, and I also started counting the Kindle books I read. So this was number 13 of my Kindle books. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. This is a standalone. This follows Eve and Shane, and they are both writers, and they meet and have 7 days, and it's like flashbacks. Eva is a single mom, and it's their story. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. I did like it. It also was a Goodreads nominee last year for romance. Yeah, so I read that. Then I read Fight Me by Lacey Black. This is book 2 in the River's Edge series. This follows Aaron and Jake. This was the 20th book I read in Kindle book number 14. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. This follows, they were in 7th grade, they met, and Erin was used to moving around because her dad was in the military. She has a crush on Jake, but he bullies her after he sort of takes her journal and like everyone in 7th grade reads it. She leaves and then lives with her grandma, and then quite a few years later she comes back and is the new librarian, and Jake is a cop, and it's their story. 4 out of 5 stars. Then I read Expect Me, Except I never expect me, which is book number 3 in the River Edge series. This by Lacey Black. I give this 4 out of 5 stars. This is my favorite one so far. This follows Travis and Jocelyn. They meet at Avery's and Maddox's wedding. She is a waitress, and he can't take his eyes off of her. And then they stayed and helped clean up, and they ran into each other or something, and he gets injured. So she helps him, take him home, and helps clean up his wound. And then they have a one night stand, and then she ends up pregnant, and it's that story. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. And that was Kindle book number 15. And then I read Promise Me, which is book 3.5 in the River Edge series. I give this one 3 out of 5 stars. This follows Holly, who is Avery's best friend, and Jace, who is a member of a band, and Maddox knew his brother from the military, and they were able to get the girls backstage passes and front row seats to their concert, and it's a little novella, and I liked it, and that is all of the other ones I have. So those were the Kindle books I read. For the physical, the first one I read was Reminders of Him by Colleen Hoover. This came out on the 18th. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. I listened to this on Kindle Unlimited. If you have Kindle Unlimited, you pay for it. You were able to get the ebook and the audiobook as part of Kindle Unlimited. So I did that. That was the first one I borrowed from Kindle Unlimited. This was the 8th audiobook I listened to, and the 6th book that I've read in, or the 6th book I bought and read in 2022. This was the 21st book I read, and it follows Kenna and Ledger. This is a standalone book. I don't really like saying too much about Colleen Hoover books because I feel like it's better going into it blind. Um, but this follows Kenna, uh, who just got out of prison, and she wants to have a relationship with her daughter, and that's pretty much all I knew going in, and I liked it. 4 out of 5 stars. Good. Then I read Changing the Rules by Bybee, and this was for my TBR game which I think the prompt that I chose this for was Jen from the book Refuge, and I think it was a person on the cover, if I remember correctly. But I read this. This is book 1 in the Richer series. I gave this 3.5 out of 5 stars. This was my second Kindle Limited book. Again, if you have Kindle Limited, you could get the ebook and audiobook for free with that. And this was book number 9 of audio. New to me author number 7. And the 23rd book I read, it was my third romance reveal book box book, and yeah, I like this. This had a little bit of a suspenseful thing. This follows Claire and Cooper, and they go undercover at a high school because they are trying to find out who is like the ringleader of a prostitution ring. So yeah, I enjoyed it. And then I read Crew by Tijan. This is book 1 in the Crew series. I gave this 3.5 out of 5 stars. This was my A to Z challenge for C number 2. So I've completed 2 of those books so far this year. So yay me. Audiobook number 10, TBR book number 6 off of my shelf. And then Kindle book number 16. This follows Bren and Cross. It's the first book in their trilogy. And Bren is part of a crew, and you sort of also meet a few of the Falling Crest people. But yeah, I enjoyed it. Yeah. And then lastly, I read A Wish for Us by Tillie Cole, which is a standalone. This was for my TBR game for TBR jar number 2 pick. This was the 11th audiobook I read, the 7th TBR book, and the 17th Kindle book. And this was the 25th book I read in the year. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. Really good. It follows Bonnie and Carmwell. And this could have triggering for some people. There is heart disease in here, so just be aware. It follows Carmwell, who is like a rising star in electronic dance music, and he meets Bonnie, and it's their story. I really like this. But those are all of the books I read this week, plus the Kindle books. As I said, I read 8 books and 3,900 or wow, 3,009 pages read. And so far, I'm at 27 books read for the month, which is really good for the year too. So I'm really happy with that. I am currently reading one book, but I'll just talk about that next week. But yeah, those are the books I read this week. And yeah, what are some books you guys read? And I'll see everyone later. Bye.